Three things. Three things that will shape your life, change your life. That's what we're going to talk about tonight on this members only live chat every Sunday on this channel. I do a live feed just dedicated to my members. If you're not a member, you click that blue join button and join us on our Sunday member only chats. Anyone can watch, but only members can comment. But like every topic, good to see you. Frank, what's up, brother? Great to see you. Norma, I hope you're doing well too. Forgive me, I had to reboot the live feed because I forgot to put it as an exclusive members only chat. So I'm still learning. And so, Norma, I know we were talking about DoorDash and the other feed. So that's a key lesson. As an example, I'll use myself. You have to do things several times and you're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. And you overcome mistakes through showing up again, not becoming embarrassed and stopping. And if you see you make a mistake, you stop and you correct it. So I just noticed I made a mistake. I didn't tag my, I didn't change a setting in my YouTube Creator Studio that this was going to be a members only chat. And I had to stop it and redo it. So it's like same thing. If you're doing a delivery for DoorDash or anything else, you stop and you redo it. Are you worried about it making you look bad? No, because that's part of life. So it's all part of life. Frank, man, thank you, brother, for the support. I appreciate that. I appreciate you loving and accepting me, brother, and showing me encouragement. And thank you for being along the ride, being a member, and thank you for that gracious tip, guys. I really appreciate you. And like I was saying, I'm going to pick the pieces back up, and we're going to keep pushing forward. And in this live feed, the structured topic, we'll talk about whatever you guys want. But the structured topic will be three things that shape your life. Not determine your life, but shape your life. Nathan, what's up, brother? How is your membership only live stream going so far? Good. This is the third one, and I'm getting progressively better. And so I'm getting confident with that, but I'm still making mistakes. Like just before I went live now, I had to redo it because I didn't tag it properly. So it's like any new thing. You have to do it and then do it several times, and you have good days and you have bad days, but you progressively get better through showing up and through consistency and through not being scared of judgment. So it'll have its ups and downs just like anything, but I'll treat it like I have done everything in my life, is that if I show up consistently and if I keep putting effort into it, I'll get something out of it, and so will the members. So I'll lose members, I'll gain members. That's all part of life. Okay. So what you focus on is what you can control, and showing up is the first part of anything being successful. Number two is consistency. Number three is a positive attitude, and just persevere. Because there's always going to be good and bad parts about everything. There's always going to be people that like what you do, don't like what you do. What you have to focus on is what you can control, and just start by showing up. Norma says, I made almost $75 over the past 3 days. DoorDash is a great side hustle. Again, I know I said it in the other chat, but anyone, whether you're a nomad or stationary, please download the Dasher app. There's a DoorDash app for ordering food, and there's a Dasher app for delivering it. Download the Dasher app, apply to be a Dasher, get the red card in the bag, and start delivering, even if it's a few. Why? Because there's 40 million Americans laid off. And if you're laid off, you want another hustle. The more ways you can honestly produce an income, the more independence you have. Okay. And that's very important in life. That way you don't have to justify yourself to everyone, and you can try different things. Because the more financial independence you have, a little bit more risk you can take, and you can allow yourself to try some things. So, great job, Norma. Let's continue to read her comment. She goes, I made almost $75 over the past 3 days. And that was only very slowly starting with 90 minutes each day. That's awesome. I will try Instacart next week. I didn't want to start on the holiday weekend. Well, that's great. Let me know how you like Instacart. I never did Instacart. I think it's a little bit more challenging than DoorDash in my opinion. But I think it's also another good app to have on your phone. And some people do better at it than others. I don't like Instacart because I don't like to shop in the store and wait online, but you can get better tips, and everything suits different people different ways. But either way, you're gaining your independence, because again, I know you were doing massage therapy, and I know after the coronavirus, that's a little bit of a volatile industry right now, and that's why it's good to have different hustles. And again, the Dasher app you can do from all over the United States. I've traveled up and down the East Coast, and I've done them in different states, and it's all good. Norma, I had trouble getting my bank account linked to it. I was about to give up. Yes, until you said persistence beats resistance. Yes, you rock. Yep, you're getting a return on it. Glad I didn't give up DoorDash. Well, I appreciate that. And that's what this is about, trying to share with you guys the things I practice. I practice what I preach. So, whether it's YouTube, DoorDash, being an electrician, being a massage therapist, whatever you do, it's show up, be consistent. You're going to have good and bad days. Persistence beats resistance. And if you can apply that to your life, okay, and put effort into your life, your life won't be perfect. None of our lives are perfect, but it'll be better, okay? Your best life, less suffering. Less suffering always comes with a little bit more effort. The less effort you put in your life, the more suffering. And there's always that counterbalance of energy. So love to you, Norma. I'm pulling for you. I appreciate you. Again, shout out to all my members on this members only chat. Every Sunday we do this, and I appreciate you guys, and I want to show that to you and share specifically one day dedicated just for you guys. So what I was thinking about today that I wanted to talk about, Frank Breeze, brother, thank you for that tip, and thank you for being a member. He gave me you're great on those emojis, man. A weightlifting dumbbell emoji. Yeah, like I said, I haven't been to the gym in 2 months since the coronavirus. I've been looking at like portable gyms, but none of them cut the sauce, so to speak. And gyms, like I say, gyms in South Florida will open up May 26th. Anytime Fitness is open up right now. I saw, Nathan, if you're still in here, let me know. I saw your video about Anytime Fitness. I was thinking about joining that. I may still, but their showers still aren't open, just like Planet Fitness. So, but Anytime Fitness is open now. Planet Fitness open on May 26th. And depending on the state, it'll get progressively better. Okay, and our nomad resources will return. Okay, and even if you're not a nomad, working out is important. And that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight. There's 3 things that will shape your life. Okay, and one of those 3 things, we'll talk about one of them, and then we'll keep going into live comments, is your amount of self-care. And self-care is physical, mental, and emotional. So your physical self-care is obviously related to what you eat and your level of exercise, whether it's lifting weights or walking. What you eat, which is the vast majority of it, and your amount of exercise, okay? Your mental, okay, is what you listen to, what you watch. Obviously, even your food affects your mental health. Going for a walk affects your mental health, so that's tied in as well. And again, what you read and what you watch, okay? If you play things, or if you watch horror movies, or if you play first shooter games all the time, you get a bad mental health, okay? Now, again, there's people with deep psychological issues that have nothing to do. There's only so much each individual can control, but you can control some of your life, okay? So you help your life by being mindful of mental health, how it ties into physical health, and how it ties into an effort of turning off the TV or YouTube or video game and going for a walk, by not watching horror movies and going for a walk. But you have to intentionally do that, okay? And the other part of it is emotional health. These are all part of self-care. Emotional health is directly related to relationships. Relationships are always the number one cause of stress, whether it's friends, family, or lovers, okay? So I've had one guy trolling my channel. I try to be very patient with him, okay? Very patient. But patience isn't good enough for some people. I used to thought it can overcome, but it can't. So he keeps asking me, like, he's not happy, he's middle-aged. I don't know if he's trolling me to be, some people troll me just to ask me the same questions to see if they get a reaction out of me. Some people are mentally disturbed, and some people are sincere. Tough to discern the difference as a YouTuber, because you get all those things. But this one guy keeps trolling me and keeps saying, I'm middle-aged, he's never been in a relationship, he's not happy. I answer him his question, he asked me the same thing. So what I could tell you is, he looks down on DoorDash, he looks down on himself because he never had a relationship. But that's why his life sucks, because he doesn't take accountability for his life. And just like a men going their own way, man, if you don't own your life, okay, maybe you have some issue mentally, physically, emotionally, but look, guys, you're here. You were born. All you have is now. If you have the independence to turn on a channel, then you have to have the independence to take accountability for your life, okay? And part of that starts, okay, with saying, you know what? I'm in charge of my physical, mental, and emotional health. Self-care, what will shape your life? One of the questions that you have to ask yourself is, how well are you going to take care of yourself? Because if you don't take care of yourself well, someone else will have to take care of you, whether it's your parent, your social worker, or someone else. Okay, so that's question number one. All right, let's go back to the live comments because this is a members only chat and I want to acknowledge them and appreciate them. And again, every Sunday we do this. If you're not a member, click that blue join button. You can join on the air. Norma says, it feels good. My whole attitude has improved. There you go. See, you're doing the self-care because I feel like guys, that's right on time. She took her power back instead of being at the mercy of the pandemic. That's exactly what we're talking about. Independence, accountability, and owning your life through putting effort into creating an income, which anyone can do with a driver's license. You can become a DoorDasher, okay? You don't even need a driver's license to create income, but DoorDash is one of the way, okay? And being active, movement, doing things in life is always better than being stagnant, okay? Because stagnant water smells. There's a fluid aspect of life that it just needs to be there. You know, your best life is always going to require a level of movement. And so don't wait for things to happen. And if, again, nothing is happening, you're going for a walk and you're going to figure it out through motion. Nathan? Anytime Fitness is expensive. I noticed that. Anywhere from $40 to $60 a month. That's what the guy priced. I called for a quote in South Florida, and that's what he priced me. I asked him, well, if I don't pay for a month, can I pay it in one shot? He's, yeah, basically $500 a year if I did a one-time, no commitment. He goes, I'm on a higher $58 a month, but I like the bathroom showers. It's private like a house. Well, that's the key. That's a great comment. The difference between Planet Fitness and Anytime Fitness is Anytime Fitness is more private, more to yourself. You need like a key fob to get in, and it's like if you go at night or even during the day, sometimes there's no one in there. Planet Fitness is way more crowded. Why? Because Planet Fitness is half the price. So for an example, if Anytime Fitness is $500 per year, Anytime Fitness is only if Anytime Fitness is $500 a year, then Planet Fitness is only $250 a year. Something like that. It's almost half. Okay, but Planet Fitness, more crowded. Okay, you pay for privacy, but as a nomad, as a major resource, it may be worth the extra money. So Nathan, if you're still in here, answer me this. What state are you in, and are the showers open in Anytime Fitness? Because when I talked to the gym in South Florida yesterday from Anytime Fitness, he said, no, only the weights and the bathrooms are open. The showers will not be open until a date to be determined. So let me know. And as we wait for more comments, I'll go into with the second question. The second question that will shape your life is where you choose to live. Okay. Because where you choose to live will affect the clothes you wear, the attitude you have, and the lifestyle that you create. I've often said, like, if I could share one thing with a younger person that I didn't realize till older, is that don't put down roots in an area just because your family is there. You need to go on a little bit of a journey, okay, and give us some thought around what type of climate you want to live in and what type of culture you want to be around. Not just based on how and where you were born, but based on how you want to live. Because as an adult, you're starting to shape your life as an adult, believe it or not. And you have to ask yourself these questions. These are 3 questions that will shape your life. Number 1 is the amount of self-care you'll put into your life. We just talked about that. Number 2 is where are you going to live? Okay. Because where you live, there's a big difference between Florida and New Jersey. Big difference between Nevada and South Dakota. The difference is huge. America has 50 different states. There's people that watch my chats from all over the world. Every place has a totally different feel. Okay. This shapes your life. Okay, right now, we're talking in the members only chat about, I'm asking one of my members, is the Anytime Fitness showers open in his state? Because some of the states in America have different things going on right now. Some of the gyms are open, some aren't. That all matters about where you live. Some of the showers are available, some aren't. So you see, it changed your whole way of being. Nathan says, I'm in Washington State. Okay, so that's the total opposite part of the country. I'm in New Jersey, which is northeast. He's in Washington State, which is northwest. Okay, so pretty much on the opposite sides of America we are right now. He goes, gyms are still closed. Okay, so that's different. My guess is July or August until they reopen. Okay, so for both of us, New Jersey, the gyms are still closed. Washington State gyms are still closed. In Florida, gyms are open. Okay. Anytime Fitness is open right now. Planet Fitness will open May 26th. So each state has different things going on. Okay. And there's a culture embedded in those states. Okay. Obviously, there's a climate that will never change, unless you get climate change. But I didn't realize this principle. I talk about it a lot on my channel. Because if you want to know about taking hold of your life, as much as work as you put in to making your life better, losing weight, healthy relationships, healthy food, working, you can never change the climate. Okay. Like behind me are leaves. It's springtime in New Jersey. The climate is different than Florida. I can never change it. Okay. So I have to decide, where do I want to be? Because I can only go to the place that the climate is what I want it to be. I can't make the climate different no matter how much I try. You can make your income more by putting a little bit more effort. Okay, you can make your health more by putting a little bit more effort. So you have to ask yourself that. It's like, I can't control certain things in the environment, so where do I want the environment to be? Frank, did you ever live in North Carolina or South Carolina or just Florida? Did you ever think about living in any other states besides Florida? Thank you for the question. So I passed through and I spent some time in North Carolina and South Carolina. As far as live, I would say anywhere between a couple weeks to a couple months, but never lived there as per se. I don't like the culture. Some parts are nice. Some people are nice. But I don't really like the culture. Not my style. I always had a vision of palm trees in South Florida, but I had to visit and understand the different areas of Florida and the different ones that inspire me more, because Jacksonville is way different than Miami. And I had to do a lot of research on that and visiting back and forth. So I never had a desire to live in any other place than Florida. And once I got to Florida and I checked the different areas, I knew that the climate and culture was for me. So you learn some through YouTube videos, through research, and there's something embedded in us that we all have something that pulls us to certain areas. And then we have to do the research, we listen to our inner voice, then we have to explore, and through exploration comes confirmation, and then that's when we start to refine our process. And my newest member, Backwoods, I saw you join last night, brother. Thank you, Backwoods, aka Dylan, also from the Northwest. So we got Nathan, our member, and Backwoods, my newest member. Great to catch you live, brother. A lot of fist pumps, thumbs up, prayer emojis also to you, brother. Thank you, man. Appreciate you joining. Yeah, man. I mean, so Backwoods, part of like his tag name, always designated the Northwest. Okay, so Backwoods, aka Dylan, he has a passion for Northwest. So like I have a passion for Florida. He loves the Northwest part of the country. So there's something that I'm sure he was just born in that inspires him about that. Okay, gets him worked up, gets him excited about life. Okay, maybe it's the climate, maybe it's the culture, and he's traveled a little bit. I know he goes to Alaska sometimes for fishing. He wants to travel a little bit more. So he'll refine shaping his life through a level of exploration. But as he becomes older, he's starting to understand, to shape my life, I have to ask myself, where do I want to live? Okay, because where you live will determine a big part of your quality of life, who you are, and the surroundings around you. Backwoods, smash that like button. I appreciate that, Backwoods. I appreciate you joining. I appreciate all my members. Every Sunday, members only chat dedicated to you guys, thanking you, having direct conversation that only members can join the live chat. Anyone can watch, but only members can join. And I want to show thanks and appreciation and put effort into your lives through just having your comments read and answered, and I appreciate that. Norma. That's another decision I've made. I keep thinking I want to live in the mountains of Western North Carolina. But do I really? Question mark. I just paid 2 months at a campground in that area starting June 5th. So I can get to know the area and see if it's really for me. I won't like DoorDash on twisty mountain roads. We'll see, etc. Okay, and I'll go back to Backwoods. But let me stop and talk about that. So one is, again, when you don't know where you want to live, rent or nomad. Okay, so the best part about being a nomad is you don't have to commit to experience. You don't have to own a house in an area to know what it's like to live in an area. Okay, you can Airbnb, short-term rental, or for my nomad, stay at a campground. Okay. And campgrounds are reopening up now, even with the coronavirus, depending on the state. Okay. Now, so obviously when you get into more rural areas, whether it's the mountains or the country land or whatever it may be, you have less people. When you have less people, you have less economic activity. Okay. So even things such as DoorDash will be less economically rewarding. Maybe cheaper to live, but it's a different culture. So to experience that, it's a good thing to stay at a campground and get a feel for it and understand. I had a girl that used to follow me, Live and Let Live. I know she stopped following me, but she was from Virginia and she had a vision of living in a tiny house. Okay. But once she started to drive around the country lands of Virginia where she could put a tiny house, I think she started to realize, well, maybe I don't like this culture. You should do research, you should watch videos, but there's no substitute for exploration, okay? And because that will help you understand firsthand, not based on someone else's opinion, but firsthand. Like, I could tell you guys what my opinions are of Florida, New Jersey, North Carolina, South Carolina. But that's what that is. It's my opinion, okay? Your experience may be different than my opinion. And that's what I want to get you worked up and excited about, to go out there and experience it, so that you can form your own opinion. Because again, like, Backwoods, he loves the Northwest. I don't, but it doesn't matter. It matters, what do you love? We got a guy in here that loves Vermont. I don't like Vermont. I've been to Vermont. But it doesn't matter what I like. It's what you want. Being yourself. Forming your own life. Shaping your own life. Asking yourself these 3 questions. One of them, how much self-care am I going to put into my life? Physically, mentally, emotionally. 2 is, where am I going to live? And if you don't know, like Norma, visit that area, short-term rent, and figure it out. Okay, not just the climate, the culture, and the ability to make income in that area. Because the ability to do DoorDash in the mountains of North Carolina will be way different than Raleigh, North Carolina, in the middle of the city. So, that's something that you'll figure out as you go. So good job. Let's go back a little bit to my man Backwoods. He goes, only $650 for a studio that has everything included. I got lucky, honestly. Oh, that's a great deal. So you're renting out a studio for $650 a month with everything included. That's a great deal. Average rent right now in America is $1,200 per month. Okay. So you can almost cut that in half. And as a single person, all you need is a studio apartment. Because what I learned owning 1,000 square foot condo is I only use the bathroom, my bed, and the kitchen. And that's less than 100 square feet. So, you really don't need that much, especially, again, as a single person. And that's what I want to talk about next. The final question you should ask, but let me read Frank's comment. Norma also asked about Live and Let Live. Yep. There's some people I know, like, we had a little bit jostling back and forth. So there's some people I offend, or there's some people, like, just after a while of it, they just don't want to watch. That's part of life. So what I tell any YouTuber or anyone doing anything, there'll be people that support you, and then it's not that they don't support you now. It's just everyone has to choose what they like. I chose to leave the church after a while. I chose to sometimes break up, and sometimes I chose to break up with someone, and sometimes they chose to break up with me. Part of life is just accepting that, at different seasons of our lives, we're going to be connected with different people, but you're always going to be connected with yourself. You need you more than you need me. Okay. So for however long we're connected via YouTube, I'm sharing with you a mindset that I applied to my own life, practice what I preach, and for you to apply to your own life, that you're going to be with yourself more than anyone else, more than me, more than your parents, more than your lover, even more than your children. You're going to be with yourself more than anyone else in this world. So get to know yourself, get to love yourself, get to take care of yourself, okay? So that not only you can be good to you, but you can be good to others. And, sure, like I've done things, I've said things that I'm sure have hurt others that I'm wrong for, and vice versa. So you try to mature, but also I cannot be someone else just to keep them happy. So maybe I said something that hurt Live and Let Live, but I can't be someone else, and I don't want her to be someone else. So, it's these things that it's a struggle in life to be ourselves, but at the same time, I'm certain that we hurt other people. But it's finding a balance, because I can't walk on eggshells either. I got to be able to be my creative self. So Frank Bree says, campgrounds open up this week. Yes, they do. A lot more things are opening up slowly but surely. So that's a good thing. Tom, also our members. Shout out to Tom. North Carolina's here. Great to see you, brother. Oh, man, I love our Sunday only members chat. Great to see you guys. Let's continue to read. We'll get to Tom. Backwoods. I'm still coming to South Florida to explore the paradise you speak of, brother. Amen. Well, Southeast Florida. But explore all around Florida as much you can, because as a nomad and as someone young and healthy, don't take it for granted that you're always going to have the ability to see other places. So, you know, when I first started going to Florida, I went all around the perimeter. I really didn't spend too much time in the Panhandle, but I went up and down the north, east, west coast of Florida, and even into the center by Orlando, to figure out what areas speak to me. Okay, because that's one of the questions you have to ask yourself. Where do I want to live? Norma? That's great, Backwoods. I agree. Seize the moment of your life. Frank? I want to live where there are a lot of MILFs and coconut juice. Well, Southeast Florida is where it's at, Frank Breeze. You already got the right name. You got Frank Breeze. So, brother, Southeast Florida, never look back. Love to you, man. Tom? Hey, Sam. How's it going over there? It was a little tough today because it was back to cloudy and cold, and I struggled a little bit mentally. I went for a couple walks. I'll go for another walk tonight. I went early on the live feed because I want to try to spend some time with my mom tonight. But I got the email today from the South. I got the email today from my Planet Fitness gym in South Florida. They're opening on Tuesday. So the next step for me, if I'm going to travel again, is going to be when the gyms open up. Okay. So right now, it doesn't matter what gym you're open to. In most states, the showers are not open up. The gyms open up, but the showers aren't. Once the showers open up, then it'll give you the green light to go back on the road full time. Okay, now again, we're entering the height of summer, so I'm either thinking in my mind I'm going to take a couple week trip down to Florida, or I'm going to stay up north till the fall. But today was one of those days where it was cloudy, it was cold. I was like, man, I would rather be in Florida. So I have to mentally discipline myself to say, look, if the showers aren't open in South Florida with the gyms, I'll make my life worse. Then number two is, if I could just make it to a couple more weeks, the weather will be nicer up north, because again, we're getting into June. And so I have to really think it out, not just be emotional. So that's kind of what I'm doing. How are you holding up, man? Great to see you, Tom, and thank you again for your support and your membership. Nathan, I only visited Gainesville, Florida. Yeah, Gainesville is in the northern part of the state. I believe there's a college. It's like a college town, but really not my style. That's really not tropical Florida. But it's one aspect of Florida. Shout out to, who's our viewer, I think, from Gainesville? Oh, no, Tallahassee. That's different Tallahassee. Norma, I think maybe Live and Let Live left YouTube completely. Now, I saw her upload a video recently. I checked her out a couple weeks ago. But let me continue to read your comment. She goes, because I was following her channel and I don't see her anymore. Well, it's possible she deleted it. I know she was having issues with her daughter. And that brings me to the third question that will shape your life. Will you decide to have children? If you decide to have children, your future is forever shaped. Not determined, but forever shaped. There's three things that you have to ask yourself that will shape your life. Number one is, how much self-care are you going to put into your life? Physically, mentally, and emotionally. Number two is, okay, where are you going to live? And number three is, are you going to have children? These are three things that will shape your life. Jessie, my first ever member, she's 29, a woman, and she's thinking about possibly having a child, or if she wants to. Why? Because her biological clock is ticking. And Live and Let Live was a viewer of mine. She was in her 40s probably. I don't know. I know you shouldn't say a woman named 40 or 50s. There's Jessie. Oh, yeah, she's thinking about that. Jessie did right on time. All my members, you about to get that fire tonight. Okay. Live and Let Live. Jessie, this is the future. Norma, I love your channel so much. I always learn so much. I love you all my heart, Norma. God bless you all. I appreciate you guys. So Live and Let Live was a great woman. I connected with her, okay? She was from New York. She lived in Virginia, okay? She was in her 40s or 50s, okay? She had a daughter, okay? Her daughter was giving her a lot of problems. So where do we go in the modern era where we have problems? YouTube. We go to YouTube to get the answers, okay? That's where I went to for downsizing. So Live and Let Live went to YouTube. She found me somehow, okay? Probably through her search for a tiny house, because she was struggling with the stress of her daughter dating a guy she didn't approve of, and probably having a kid and following her same path. Okay, and she didn't want that for her child. She wanted something better, because she was a hardworking woman. She poured a lot into her child, and she didn't feel her child appreciated her. If you decide to have a child, you will never stop worrying. And once your child becomes of age, you can never control them. And really, when they hit puberty, you can't control them. That's tough, to love someone with all your being, to be a woman. I watched a Kourtney Kardashian birth today because I was looking at MILF pictures of Kourtney Kardashian. She got a nice ass. Guys, forgive me, but I still get worked up about the sexuality. And I watched when she gave birth. I don't know if you saw the episode of Kardashians when she basically pulled her child out of her uterus. Okay, it was very amazing. And I was amazed seeing a woman give birth. It is amazing. I mean, from a standpoint of pulling a child out of your body. Why am I saying that? Because I think once you have a child, you'll never be the same. It shapes your life. It changes your life. For the better or for the worse. When you get married, it's for better or worse. However, when you get married, you can get a divorce. You didn't give birth to your husband. You didn't give birth to your wife. You give birth to your child. And that's a powerful thing, I think, especially for a woman, because it comes out of your body. And again, I can't answer the question, should you have a child or should you not? I can say it's one of the most important, one of the top three questions that you're going to have to ask yourself. And you're going to have, what do I do when I ask myself a question? I look at other people's testimony. Your testimony is the most important thing you have in your life. Okay? I look at people and how they struggle with being a parent. Yes, it's rewarding. Yes, they love their children. They love their children. I truly believe that. But they struggle. They stress. They worry. Even my mom, I watch her, 74 years old. Can't barely walk. I spend time with her, and every day I spend time with her, there's always questions about my other siblings and about how she worries about them. So you have to ask yourself, are you ready to take on extra stress and worry for the rest of your life? Are you that committed? When I first started living in my car, I uploaded a video of me sleeping in the back of my car, and someone commented, said, damn, you committed. That's the only way to do something. You have to fully commit. Okay. Now look, when you have a child, when you're in your teens or early 20s, it's out of hormones. So you can't go backwards. You make the most of it. That's what happened with Live and Let Live. But her YouTube video was about a little bit of her children. She was about being a parent. She even changed her tag name after a while, like Parenting Ups and Downs or something. But she shut down her channel. Like most people shut down their channel because it's your privacy is a huge thing you sacrifice. I got no kids. My kids can't come up to me and say, Sam, you're embarrassing me. Hey guys, look. In my opinion, I think many people will be good not to have kids. Less stress, less worry. They can focus more time on self-care and where they want to live. If there's three questions you should ask yourself in your life, how much self-care am I going to put into my life? Because when you don't take care of yourself, someone else has to take care of you. Number two is, where am I going to live? And number three is, if I'm going to have a child. If you have a child, the other two questions go by the bay. Once you see how I get that middle finger up, I didn't even mean to do that. Once you decide to have a child, you can't really fully determine how much time you're going to put into your own self-care, because your child comes first now. Then you can't determine necessarily where you're going to live, because maybe you need to live by your parents to get support for babysitting, etc. The greatest question you will ask yourself, especially if you made it like Jesse to her late 20s and you haven't had a child, I don't want to answer that question for you. I just want to pose the question. Be ready. It'll shape your life, maybe for the better. But it's that important, guys. All right, let's take a hydration break. We'll go back to the comments again. This is a members-only chat. Every Sunday on this channel is dedicated just to my members. They're the only ones allowed to comment in the comment section. I have a filter on it. Okay, anyone can watch, but it's only for my members. If you want to be a member, click that blue join button. Thank you, Dylan, for my latest member. Frank, Norma, Tom, Jesse, Nathan, all my members in here tonight. Love to you. Let's take a hydration break. Norma, don't forget to wear your sandals in the shower, people. That's a good question. One of the viewers who watches my channel, NVRV, she lives in Alaska. She lives out of her NV200 Nissan. And she left a comment on someone else's channel. I saw her comment. She said, yeah, it's amazing they open the gyms for weightlifting, but not the showers. So they're saying it's healthier for you to sit on a bench, breathe and work, rather than go into a shower and clean the germs off your body. Now that's a little interesting. So I would think for a hygiene perspective, no matter what, you are taking a risk going into a gym. It's a higher risk. But I think if you're going to take that risk, I think it's better to have the showers open because then you can clean yourself of germs. Then you say, Sam, the gyms, the showers are dirty. Guys, you think there weren't, especially for my guys, you think there's not guys masturbating in that shower? Guys, I can guarantee you before the coronavirus, there were in the male showers, there's guys masturbating in there all the time. I got to go in there. Do I wear sandals? No. I mean, should I? Probably. Now, for women, do you have to worry about that? No, but I guarantee all my women out there, I guarantee you there's women that are on their period that go in those showers. And they ain't wearing a Diva cup. Should you wear your sandals? Probably. Are you? Probably not. Okay, let's be careful. Jesse, Sam, such a beautiful day. Where are you, Jesse? I'm in New Jersey. It was a disaster day. It was cloudy. It's cold. Don't have a kid. I love you. Norma, thank you again for that tip, Norma. Norma and Frank Breeze, thank you for the tips. Love you. I really do appreciate you guys. Tom, weather's in the 70s. That's not bad. Everything is packed. Yeah, that's true because Memorial Day weekend. Lakes, campgrounds, trails. I'm just staying by myself. Me and you on the same page. That's the only good part about the Jersey Shore. It's a little bit less packed. I will upload a video tomorrow from a boardwalk at the Jersey Shore I did showing the difference that the coronavirus brought. Normally, Memorial Day weekend on the boardwalk on the Jersey Shore, it's packed due to the prom, due to family vacations, etc. But right now, by New Jersey law, they're still not allowed to short-term rent. Hotels are not allowed to open. Airbnbs are not allowed to short-term rent, not until June 6th. June 6th, short-term rentals and hotels will able to be open up at 25% capacity. But Jersey Shore, big difference, just like your situation, Tom. But me and you are very similar where we like to be by ourselves. So in one sense, it was a blessing, but it wasn't 70 degrees in New Jersey today. It was like in the 50s, wind, cloudy, nasty. It looks nice back here for a backdrop, but not that nice. Frank Breeze. NY is nice today also, not where I was at. A little too cold and windy, man. I need a hot and sunny. That coconut juice, man. Coconuts can't survive in this weather, man. You know, it also shapes and changes your body. No, it's definitely true. I watched Nikki Bella have a kid, and I think she regrets she changed her body forever. Now, there's some hot MILFs, so don't get me wrong. You can look beautiful and have a child. Now, after 2, 3, then you're going to be, it's going to be tougher. But, look, I've known many MILFs that have had 2, 3 kids, and they look beautiful. But it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder to stay in shape as you get older, period. For me personally, I used to be able to eat a bucket of fried chicken and play a full-court basketball game. I can't do that anymore. So, as you get older, it's harder to do self-care. I have less energy to go for a walk. Okay, that's why I need to put everything in my favor. I need to be in the right environment. I need to have minimal things in my life so I can have less stress and do more things. But as you get older, your body is tougher to keep in shape. And then as you have kids, it's like double the whammy. And as a woman, I sympathize and empathize that it's more pressure on a woman for her physical appearance. And it's tough. It's just something in the woman's mind that I think everyone wants to feel beautiful. Everyone, man, but women want to feel beautiful. And there's something psychological that happens when you don't feel beautiful. And it's something I have to consider. Now, look, again, you can still be hot. There's plenty of MILFs out there. I watch MILF porn sometimes. But it's something that you will change your body. I mean, in many ways. Not necessarily for the worse, but you have to be conscious of it. It's a huge sacrifice, Frank. It's hard to find a single woman over 35 with no kids. Almost impossible. I watched the episode of the Bella twins, and she went to go visit her gynecologist, which is the doctor that works on the female's part. And the doctor told her, interesting thing, I didn't know it, that by the time I think you're 35, 90% of your eggs are dead. So if you want to have a baby, you need to freeze your eggs once you start to get into your early 30s. Because by the time you're into your 40s, you are at high risk and you're very unlikely to be able to successfully carry a child. Thus, the biological clock starts ticking when you're in your late 20s, such as Jesse O. But there's a lot of stress. Okay, just carrying the child is stress, nevertheless having it for infinity. You'll never stop worrying about your child. So, that's shocking. Like, really, you're your most fertile as a woman between 18 to 30. Probably 18 to 25. So, once you get, like I say, I think if you can make it to your late 20s, and if you don't have a life partner that you really want If you don't have a vision to have kids, I wouldn't have it. In my opinion, everyone should do what they want. But I think that's something you got to give thought to. Norma, Frank Breeze, that's me laughing. Frank, oh yeah, Norma. Then you are a rare catch. I'm not mad at that. Norma. Then again, most women over 35, I would think the kids are almost grown. That's true. That's another good point. I think many people have a child before, at least one before the age of 25 or by the age of 27. But that's what I say. Like, you know, once you get to your late 20s, early 30s, you got to ask yourself, you're probably set in your ways. You may be set in your ways. So, like, I know myself now. I'm too set in my ways. Imagine me living with somebody being told disaster, guys. I mean, so, you know, you got to know yourself. Knowing yourself is the key to all decisions. And that's why I'm posing this to those who are mature enough to understand this. You have to ask yourself some questions. Now, I can ask you these questions, but only you can answer them. Why? Because knowing yourself is the key to the answers. I know myself. I know one is I don't want to have kids. I know number two, self-care is top priority in my life. Number three is living where I want to live is a huge part of my life goal. That's why you guys see all the Florida stuff. Even when I'm in Jersey, I talk about Florida. It's so important. But this is me answering the questions. You have to answer those questions for yourself. We're all on a different journey, even if we're similar. Obviously, we're similar in some manner. We've connected somehow through the YouTube algorithm that you guys watch my channel. You appreciate what I have to say enough to be a member, and I appreciate that, and that's why we dedicate every Sunday to this. But if I'm doing my job, it's to make you think about how do you get to your best life, okay? And part of the answer is going to lie within you, okay? Because that's really all a life coach, a pastor, anyone is just a spark plug. I'm a spark plug, guys, okay? I have my time where really only thing I'm doing is sparking something inside you, and then you have to run on your own, okay? And then maybe like Live and Let Live, you no longer watch me, but I did my job if I spark something in you. Tom knows he's an auto mechanic. I changed my spark plugs. Guys, you need your spark plug. But you only need it to spark the combustible engine, then you're off on your own. So you got to answer these questions. Good job. Click that thumbs up, guys. Norma, laughing. I know I am, Frank. I am not a keeper. I like to move around too much. Amen. Knowing yourself is the key to all decisions, guys. I'm not a keeper either. I tell you guys, I'll destroy your life. Any women or gay guys that want to get with me. You don't want to get, guys, I'm a nomad. I got to be a free bird. I don't want to be in a relationship. That's true. Frank. Same with me. Amen. You know what? I agree, Sam. I think it will be harder to clean all the contact germs off a weight bar. I agree. And that's where you do have to question sometimes the status quo. It's true. Nathan, Anytime Fitness bathrooms are not gender specific. Hey guys, look, yeah, as long as I got a lock thing on it, because to me, that don't matter to me one bit. As long as I can close the door, it doesn't matter to me if it's man's, woman, or whatever. As long as my privacy. I love my privacy. Now, I share my life in public a little bit on this channel, but 99% of the time I like to be private. And for me, I feel safer in a universal bathroom that has its own lock rather than being in a locker room with all guys. And some of them are they're like nudists. They like to walk around. They doing all types of stuff. Okay, me, I'm a loner, guys. So I would love a universal bathroom I could put a lock on. So that I may spend an extra couple hundred, be an Anytime Fitness member. We'll see. Just yo. I am in a beach town in Maine. It's not warm yet, but it's getting there. It's only great between late May and August. Well, love to you, Jesse. Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking about. It'd be tough for me to head back down south now when everyone else is coming back up north. So, but I love Florida that much. But we'll see. Jesse, I love to you, and I appreciate you. Frank, you can buy dumbbells from Walmart. They're all sold out. I've looked in a couple up here in New Jersey. And do a full workout without a gym. That's true, but they're all sold out right now. And go for a run and walk. That's true. But I do like the weight bench, and there's something about that hard steel, and I only have a Jeep Renegade, so I don't have a big enough van where I could carry all that stuff with me. If you had a van or RV, you can certainly carry that. Frank, Maine has some good lobster. That's true. I will say this. Seafood is actually better in the Northeast than in Florida. Now, that shocked me, because you would think that seafood would be better down south, okay? Many parts of Florida are like the fishing capital of the world. But I think because Florida has that all year round warm weather, and therefore the water, the lakes and the ocean, the water is always warm, I don't think the seafood tastes fresh. In the Northeast, when you get seasonal seafood during the summer, that fresh water that gets to that ocean water is cold. It's cold right now. Okay, the lakes are cold. The ocean water up northeast doesn't get warm, and I'm sure the same thing probably northwest from my man Dylan. It doesn't get warm until like August, okay? But what does that allow to do? That allows the fish to be fresh. But when they're soaking in that warm water all the time in South Florida, they don't taste fresh. So that's a big difference, and that's why I like fishing like in backwoods. He does that in like the Alaska Northwest area. He gets some fresh salmon. Let's continue, Norma. I'm so happy you come on early today. Well, I appreciate that. I know I may have surprised some people, but like I said, I got that one homeless lady in the gas station at night. She's become a little bit of a distraction. And two is I wanted to spend some time with my mom tonight. And three, I just was in the mood, so I appreciate you being able to join. And on Sunday, I have more liberty to go live earlier because no one's working. Well, unless, I don't know, some people here might work on Sundays. I don't know. Norma goes, I'm so happy you came on early today because I'm still nervous to DoorDash to try listening while I work. Do it. There's no substitute for doing. How do you overcome anxiety? Action. Put that on a t-shirt. How do you overcome anxiety? Action. You know, Nike had the thing, just do it. So true. You show up. And you mess up, you show up again. If you get a bad review on DoorDash, Norm, I want you to listen to this. Eventually, you're going to get a bad review on DoorDash, and probably in the beginning, you show up again, you deliver again. When I first started doing DoorDash, I was nervous as hell. I did a couple deliveries, and then sure enough, in the first 10 deliveries, I was like, I was a 5-star dasher. And then I had one delivery, I forgot something, my DoorDash rating went down to like 2, and I was devastated. What did I do? I had to dash again, but it was very hard. But remember, the best way to overcome a mistake is to show up. There's a scripture that says if your boss is angry at you, don't quit. A quiet spirit can overcome great mistakes. Guys, never let anyone make you quit. Now, if the workplace is toxic, then keep showing up, find another job, then put in your 2 weeks notice once you've secured another job. Shout out to our viewer, Vanessa. She's a member also. She may not have been able to join us, but she went through that recently with her job. Always try to secure a job before you leave a job. And always, even if you're working now, always have the DoorDash app downloaded on your phone and periodically do dashing. Why? So that you always have another source of income. Why? So that you always have your independence. Why? Because that's part of self-care. Okay? That's part of your best life. That's what we're doing here tonight. Good job. Frank says, if I did DoorDash, I would eat all day. Well, believe it or not, DoorDash keeps you away from food even though you smell food. And you really don't have time for breaks. There's a part of the app, I did a video on it, that allows you to pause the app so that you don't get deliveries and that you could take a break, go to the bathroom, have something to eat, etc. And I recommend you use that pause button, especially when you're in when you're getting like flustered after a delivery. But believe it or not, you will eat less the more active you are throughout the day. Whether that activity means walking or door dashing. The more active you are, whether it's Tom changing a transmission or whatever, the more active you are, the less you eat. The more lethargic you are, the more you eat. There was a commercial that changed my life, arthritis commercial. And it said that a body in motion stays in motion. Guys, there's part of life that's movement. And the less you move, the more you eat, the worse your mental health gets, the worse your physical health gets, the worse your attitude gets. So stay in motion. You'll do better. You'll eat less. Good job. Tom, single for life. Also, no roommates. Damn it, Tom. Me and you on the same page. We connected for a reason. We're similar. We like our privacy. We don't mind working, but we want our independence. And you taught me we need to be self-contained. You know what? I hope that doesn't happen to me. Laughing. You'll be all right. Now, when I was a pizza delivery boy, I ate a lot. Because the difference between being a pizza delivery boy and a DoorDasher is when there's no deliveries and you work in a pizzeria, you have to sit in a pizzeria, fold the boxes, and they give you free pizza. When you're not door dashing, guys, you can be walking on the beach because you're your own boss. You're a 1099 worker. You're an independent contractor. You don't have to go back to Sal's Pizzeria and listen to Big Sal tell you to stack the back refrigerator. Damn it, I like independence. So what I could tell you guys, never work at Sal's Pizzeria, but always DoorDash. Good job. Just Sam, what do you think about adoption? I think it's a noble thing. I do know a couple people in my life that have adopted and that were adopted when they were younger. So I think it's a noble thing, but I think it's very similar in being a parent, even if you give birth, you are attached and committed to that other being for life. Now, again, when they become 18 and become an adult, they're going to go on their own, but you're still attached in some way. And you are guaranteeing a level of emotional scars, financial sacrifice, and emotional sacrifice. So, again, a noble thing, but it's still a very much a sacrifice thing. And it's very much a taxing thing on your mind, your emotions, and your wallet. And if you're ready for that because you have a desire for it, then again, you have to do you. Because I don't know what's inside you. I know what's inside me, and I want to spur you to think about these things, because these are 3 questions you should ask your life. And when it comes to one of the questions, should you have a child, you may ask, well, yeah, if I don't physically carry it, should I adopt? I think adoption is better than artificially inseminating or freezing your eggs. Because in my opinion, like some people say, like I'm pro-choice, but some people say they're pro-life. Well, if you're pro-life, to me, I don't know why you would believe in like freezing your eggs or like intravenous stuff, because you're playing God. And so that's just my thing. Doesn't say right, but I think adoption is noble, because obviously someone is in this world that doesn't have a parent but needs one, and you're willing to fill that void. So I like that better than freezing eggs. But there is something to be said that you're never going to physically be connected. You know, like you'll be emotionally connected and they'll look up to you and appreciate you, but there's a physical connection that won't be there. Okay. I've seen it with people I know that were adopted, and different testimonies I've heard that adopted parents have served a great purpose in society, but something in a child's identity will always be wrapped up to a certain level in their DNA. They can overcome that, just like I've overcome that, okay? I have 3 siblings. We're all of the same parents, but we all have different ways we live life. Anyone can overcome anything, including their DNA to a certain extent, but it takes a lot more work. And there's something that your child will come to you if you become an adopted parent, that when they become 18 or 25, even if their biological parent was a drug addict, they'll want to go on that journey of seeking them, of understanding them, because that's part of them. And that's a question that you can't answer. You'll just have to give them some general information. So there's a whole nother level of parenting that will take place when your child becomes of age, that you will have to be ready. You'll be a counselor. And so, you have to think about that. Just, a huge part of success will be determined by your ability to act, no doubt. And when in doubt, the act of showing up does not mean that you have all the answers. It just means that you're willing to do the work. You're willing to put in an effort. Okay. And the person willing to put in effort will always go further than the person that's not willing to put in effort. Even if you're not as intelligent as someone else, if you're willing to put in more effort, you'll go further. Let me give you an example. If Tom works in a car mechanic shop where there's 3 auto mechanics, out of the 3, let's just say Tom is average. There's one that's above average, one that's below, and he's an average mechanic. The one that's above average may have more natural skill set when it comes to auto repair, but he may have a drug problem and not show up, or he may be lazy and not show up. Okay. So how can Tom become the number 1 mechanic in that shop? By just showing up. By putting in a little bit of effort, he can overcome someone that may even be more talented than him. Okay. And so if the only thing that someone got through watching my videos is to show up, I have given back a lifetime reward to anyone willing to listen to that message. It'd be worth any membership of my channel or just watching for free. Anyone, if I can ingrain in you, just show up. You have changed your life for the better. Okay. And this is this follow-up to that. Okay. After you make a mistake, after you have a bad day at work, after you get into an argument with your boss, after you do a bad DoorDash delivery, if you can still show up, now you've gone to a whole nother level. Because you've learned to be embarrassed, to feel the pit of your stomach, but you've learned to push forward with the grace of God. You need the grace of God, but grace of God and a level of strength and tenacity that will help you overcome in life. Not because I want you to be this great Hercules, just because I want your suffering to be less. I want my suffering to be less. Guys, I'm a realistic person. I feel the pain that you feel. I know the life sucks a little bit. I know. So part of self-care is how can we make life suck less? Less suffering. Showing up in self-care equals less suffering. Someone asked me today on one of my videos, I don't know if they were being like sarcastic or realistic. Again, it's always hard to tell. They said, Sam, I hear you. Minimalism is wisdom and being single is wisdom, but I tend to just want to get engaged in sex, and part of getting sex is having stuff to impress the opposite sex. What do you think about that, Sam? What do you think about that, inspirational nomad? And I said, lack of self-care equals lack of self-control. Lack of self-care equals lack of self-control. And there's a scripture that says self-control is like godliness. There's a scripture that says anyone who doesn't have self-control is like a city with broken down walls. Okay. Now, self-control is a goal. We can never always meet the goal. It's like trading stocks and wanting to make $100 a day on it's a goal, but it's not, once in a while we fell big time. Okay. We have goals, doesn't mean we always meet them, but it's good to have a goal, good to measure something. So how does that apply to having a lot of sexual drive? Well, guys, if you're not doing anything other than thinking about sex, if you're unwilling to go for a walk, like when I see a beautiful woman going for a walk, guys, you know what I do? I walk more. I stay productive. I'll clean up my car. I'll go take a shower. I'll go do something. If you're lazy, if you're not doing anything, you're going to get trapped into every unhealthy activity in this world. Okay? Idle time is the devil's playground. Okay? Destructive behavior, the breeding ground for destructive behavior is idle time. Like they're saying the breeding ground for the coronavirus is retirement homes and the gyms. But what I'm here to tell you, the breeding ground for destructive behavior is idle time. Idle time, too much of it, will become a lack of self-control. Because going for a walk is self-control. Staying productive is self-control. Now, taking a break and resting and getting the proper sleep is self-control. But when you're not active all day, then you can't sleep all night. When you don't sleep all night, what you've done is you've built up a life with no self-control. You're like a city with broken down walls. And that's a powerful statement. Damn it, Frank. 149 super chat. Damn it, Frank. Thank you for being a member, brother. Thank you for the ice cream cone, because it's got no calories in it. And my big ass ain't worked out in 2 months, and I could use some calorie-free cones, man. I appreciate that. Thank you to all my members, guys. Every Sunday we do this members-only chat dedicated to you to show your thanks and appreciation. Thank you for being a member. And if anyone's watching, if you're not a member, feel free to join. Thank you, Frank, for that tip. Let's take a hydration break, and we'll go from there, guys. But like I said, I think we touched on everything I wanted to share tonight, okay, or today. And we read all the comments, and I think we gave some specifics to our emotions. Because you got to put specifics and goals and directions to your thoughts. What is anxiety? Overwhelmed thoughts and lack of action. Why do people have overwhelmed thoughts and lack of action? Because they aren't breaking down all their thoughts and putting them in categories. Okay. And as you do self-care, physically, mentally, emotionally, going for a walk, being productive, healthy relationships, you start to put your thoughts in categories. And you start to ask yourself, well, what does this thought mean? What does it mean to shape my life? How do I shape my life? Obviously, having a child is going to shape your life. Obviously, where you live is going to shape your life. Obviously, the amount of effort you put into your life will shape your life. These are things that determine part of your journey in this world. Okay. And I can help spark some of that conversation, but only you can answer that question. And anyone that will be any benefit to you, they're just trying to build your confidence. They're just trying to build your courage to show up after embarrassment. Your courage to show up after embarrassment will save you centuries with a therapist. Because we all get embarrassed. We all get hurt. Me included. Okay. Yes, there's some times where I've wanted to just shut things down and crawl under a rock. And sometimes you need to do that for self-care. But eventually you have to get back up. Because if you don't get up, the world will keep kicking you. Okay. So that's the message tonight, guys. I hope it helped. Norma, we love you. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Have a great time with your mom, son. I will. Thank you. Thank you to all my members. Appreciation, love. See you guys in the next video. Peace and love. Thank you.